everyone, it's Natasha. I had a request for a deeper look into classical phonics. This is by Cheryl Lowe from Memoria Press. This is a child's guide to word mastery. Now, Memoria Press uses this in their K through 2nd grade programs. You will use this across all the grade levels. However, I believe it can be used as a standalone away from their programs as well. And as I go through it, I'll kind of tell you how I use this in my own online kindergarten classroom. Okay, so we have the contents here. It's broken down into parts. There's part 1, which is short vowel words. Part 2, which is long vowel words. Part 3, 10 more vowel sounds. So that's like our R-controlled vowels, our oo, our ow, that sort of thing. Part 4 is advanced phonics. Now, there's a preface here, and this book was originally from Floris Aiken's Word Mastery. And basically, Cheryl Lowe took Word Mastery and altered it to make it what is now classical phonics. And so it's basically an updated version of Word Mastery. So Introduction to Unit 1, you're going to be learning short vowel words. So you're going to be learning the alphabet, CVC words, and plurals and possessives. So then we have our first letters. We're going to be learning M and then A. So if you take this at your students' pace, you can really teach your students to learn with this book. What did I just say? You can teach your students to learn. I meant teach your students to read. There is notes at the bottom of this page. However, there's not quote unquote lesson plans. But it says M, N, R, F, S, L represent sounds that may be prolonged or voiced without a vowel sound. This makes them the easiest of the consonant sounds to blend and therefore the first to learn. If you have not read both prefaces and the suggestions to teachers in the appendix, please do so before proceeding any further. So you're going to teach your student the sound for M, the M sound, and then the sound for A, the short vowel sound for A, ah. And it says A is the first short vowel. Studied pupils can remember the sound of short A by isolating the initial sound of the word apple. Pupils can now blend 2 letters to make the word am and use it in a sentence. I am, and then their name. So if you did, the letter M on one day, A on the next day, by day 2, they're essentially reading the word am. Now, what I do with my online students is I'm taking this book as a mastery approach, which, that's really what it says, right? Child's Guide to Word Mastery. So once the students have one sound down, then we go on to the next one. Once they can blend that easily, we go on to the next one. So as you can see, it just moves through the alphabet slowly but surely, being able to read more words. And it just gives you notes here. Isolate the initial sound of ram, rat, and rose. Pupils now know 4 letters and can blend 2 more words, ran and ram. And then we just keep going through like that. Once we get to E, you see we have a lot more words that the student can read. And then we add in T. And so from this point, they're reading quite a bit more words. And a great idea, a great thing to do also is to review. If you're familiar with the other program by the Well-Trained Mind, they have the 2 review and 1 new kind of rule, and that's a great way to think of it. So if you're going to be learning this page, you might want to review these 2 pages and then learn the 1 new. So 2 review and 1 new is kind of just a good thing to kind of keep in the back of your head. And you can cycle through what you're reviewing. It does not hurt to go back and review. But as you can see, so that we get lots of words on those vowels. Once it introduces a new vowel, you see we get lots of new words because there's a new vowel that they know. See, there's U, and then the Q with the queen. Okay, then we have a review. And so with the review, you notice how it has kind of like a word family feel where they're at, cat, bat, hat, and so forth. And then, so that's a ton of words that they can review. And then there's an assessment. So how I use this is if they can read all of these words fluently, then we can move on. And then we have our plurals and possessives and our introduction to Unit 2. And so this is information for the teacher, and it talks about, consonant teams and digraphs and all of that. So I definitely suggest you reading the introductions. I read all the teacher's parts. They're not that long, and it really helps you understand what you should be doing. Now, why isn't this book considered a complete phonics program? Well, I think it's considered a complete phonics program, but it's not considered a complete reading program. And here's the reason. Well, it covers all of the phonics rules, all of the sounds, all of the phonograms, and it goes in a nice order, and it's got those assessments. It's very well laid out, as you can see, with the teacher's notes on the bottom. It is very, very well done, in my opinion. But there are a couple reasons why this is not considered a complete reading program. The first reason would be that it actually doesn't cover sentences. So this really is just words. When it says word mastery, that is really what it is. So there's number 5, Unit 5. And Unit 6. I think I forgot to show you in the beginning the other page of the, did I forget that? Oh no, I did show you all that. Okay. Unit 6. Got these harder vowel teams. Unit 7 are controlled vowels. And then advanced phonics. Prefixes and suffixes, the double rule, the drop rule, open and closed syllables. Okay. Now, this part right here is super important. The suggestions to teachers. This comes from the original Word Mastery book. I highly suggest you read that. It basically explains how this was intended to be used way back in 1913 as a program to teach children to read. Although Memoria Press does not use this straight through. Okay, so I'll get there in a second. So then we have the phonics and spelling rules, just a list of them here. And it's not every phonics and spelling rule in the world. So this is not like, that one program. Okay, it's escaping my mind. Logic of English. Because their kind of philosophy is that you don't need to know all those rules. Like, it's just too much. Okay, and then we have the most common words. So these are kind of like your sight words, so to speak. Okay, so as you can see, this is not considered a complete reading program because, one, it doesn't ever cover sentences, so therefore there is no readers to go along with this, and it doesn't cover comprehension. This is truly just phonics. Now, I believe, like I said, you can use this as a complete phonics program if you go page by page, step by step through this book. Your child will learn how to read. However, you will have to find readers to match up with this. That's really kind of the bottom line. However, Memoria Press uses this in their K to second programs, but they do not use it part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. They skip around depending on what they're doing in their First Start Reading program. So Memoria Press has a First Start Reading program that is their complete reading program, and they utilize this as extra practice. So they skip around in this book. So that's just that. I am not using the First Start Reading program, but I do love this classical phonics book. And I highly recommend it as a phonics program, as a supplement to phonics programs. I just think this is a really valuable teaching tool, and I like how it's small and condensed, and it's not a lot of fuss, and it's really great in that way. You can also utilize this as a spelling program. And so I think this is really great, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So I love this book. This is one of my favorite products from Memoria Press, so I highly recommend it. I will leave a link down below on where you can find it, and I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and as always, make sure to subscribe if you love all things homeschool.